Okay, custom directives are used in AngularJS to extend the functionality of HTML. So the meaning is, so we can implement our own elements and our own directives. Okay, already predefined directives is there in AngularJS. So but we can define our own custom directives also, like ng click, ng repeat, okay, ng style. So like that we can implement our own directives. So that is called custom directives, or we can implement our own elements also. So based on our requirement, we can create our own templates and our own elements using custom directives. So custom directives are defined using directive function. So we have to use directive function in AngularJS to implement custom directives. Okay, so this is the function of implementation for custom directives. Okay, so we can use this directive function like module name app dot directive function, and next like controller create syntax, directive syntax also. So here we need to provide custom directive name. Okay, directive name, our created directive name. Like if you want to implement search directive, otherwise if you want to implement any new element, you can give the element name here. Okay, sample element. Okay, so this is the syntax for create the directives. So here four types of directives we can create. First one is element directives, and second one is attribute directives, and third one is based on CSS class name also we can implement directives, and final one is comment directives. The element directives, directive activates when a matching element is encountered. So here we need to provide restriction for these custom directives. Okay, how we are creating custom directives. So here we have four types of custom directives available. Okay, so to implement any one of these four, so we need to provide restriction for custom directives. So that is uh, machine should match the uh, restriction name. Okay, machine should match the restriction name to implement element directives and attribute directives and CSS directives, comment directives. Okay, here three types of restrictions also available. A, E, C. Okay, only matches attribute name. Okay, if you are implementing only attribute, you need to give this A. Okay, in restriction property. Okay, there is a restriction property in directive. Okay, return. Okay, here, okay, restriction property is there. So here we need to give this A, R, E, R, C. Okay, so any one of these three we can use. So if you are implementing attribute directive, so you need to give A. Okay, if you are implementing your own element, you need to give this E. Okay, if you are implementing based on class name, you need to give this C. Okay, So these are the restriction. So compulsory this restriction name, okay, directive name match to the element name or attribute name or comment, like css class name. Okay, for example, here I want to implement already one button is there. Input type, assume that already one button is there in our HTML form. Type button and value save button, and here already ng click directory is there for button. Okay, when you submit the data to the server, so we can click on this button, but if you press the enter button, okay, you need to click this button also when you press the enter key, like ng enter key, so we can implement like this directive. Okay, so this directive is not there in AngularJS, but we can implement this directive. Okay, and we can close this. So if you are implement this directive, so here ng enter key. Okay, so we have to give the attribute name like this. Okay, so must and should we need to give the attributes names like ng hyphen after that name. Okay, or without hyphen also we can give here. Okay, so but here you have to give the uh, caps letter from second word onwards. First letter there is no caps word. Okay, caps letter from second word onwards we have to give uh, caps letter. For each word first letter caps, and after that here we are implementing attribute, so we need to give here a, and after remaining functionality. Okay, template, so like this. Okay, so this is the syntax for implement attribute directives. And if you are implementing element, okay, your own element, my example element, okay, ele, okay, my exle element is not there in HTML, so but we can implement this element by using custom directives. For this, here also like same as the attribute directive, my is the small letters, and from second word onwards we need to give caps letter, first letter. Okay, ele, and next restriction element, okay, e, that's it. Okay, so custom directives are used to implement our own custom directives, like attribute directives, element directives, and custom CSS directives. Okay, element directives when a matching element is encountered. So when matching element is, this is the matching element here. So must and should match this element name here also. And the attribute directives, when a matching attribute is encountered. So this attribute name and in directives attribute name also must should match. And CSS directors also same. Matching a CSS style is encountered. If class name is equal to the custom directives name, so it will implement our directives. Okay, so one example on this element directive and attribute directives.